The end of day 2 of construction. 100 feet from the other side of the house. So we excavated the trench for the well line across the house and the geothermal lines. We were originally going to put 3 separate trenches for geothermal, but given the conditions of the soil, large rocks, very tough digging, we opted to do a 15-foot wide trench, 100 feet long. We're going to run all 3 loops in that one field area. So we got it down about 7 feet on average, some places as much as 8 feet below grade. We're going to come in with a machine, we're going to grade that off a little bit more with a bobcat, and then we're going to fill it in with sand. Put down our geothermal lines, fill that in with sand on top, backfill a little bit, run our water line above that. We'll come across into the house here and come up into the utility room inside of the building. So even though this lot was nice and graded, the whole lot kind of looked like this at the end of yesterday. The whole lot looked like this. We had it nice and leveled off. We kind of made it look like a bomb went off today with the digging of the geothermal lines. So today's the end of day 2. Day 3, we're waiting for the geothermal pipe to come in. This is the hole where we dug over here. Put a little ramp going down in there so we can pull the bobcat in and grade off the bottom and spread the sand out before we run our geothermal lines. Let me get a different angle. Here's a different view of the trench. The trench is a little over 100 feet long. We've actually been pumping for a while now. We set up a temporary pump set up into a well so we can get water on here and flood this thing as we fill the pipe in around the trench. We just fired that up today so we make sure we had some water. We're flooding a little bit of water in there now. We're going to be bringing a bobcat, grading off the bottom of this trench, spreading out about 6 inches of sand, laying our geothermal lines on top of that, putting about 6 inches of sand on top of that. We have 3 600-foot loops going into this trench, about 15 feet wide, average depth of 7 to 8 feet, supplying a 3-ton geothermal heat pump. So here's our geothermal trench. This is day 4. We had a ramp made. We went in with a bobcat. We graded off the bottom of this down into the trench here, and all the way back out this way. We're waiting for our geothermal pipe to be delivered. Sand is supposed to be here at 11 o'clock, so it's running a little late. So we can go in there with a machine and spread some sand across the bottom of this trench before we lay the pipe in there. So that's where we're at. After we spread 6 inches of sand throughout the whole trench, graded the bottom, this is all prepared and ready for the geothermal lines to be set in place. So we have a little over 100-foot trench, about 30 feet of small trench going up underneath and into the house, but we're all prepared. We're just waiting for the hose to come in. We have 6 inches of sand laid for a base, and then we're going to cover this with 6 inches of sand afterwards. Alright, so Monday evening about 7:30, we didn't pick up our slinkies until about, we started building these about 4 o'clock this afternoon, 4:30 this afternoon. Alright, so these are our slinky loops. These are 2 600-foot coils. They extend down through the hole and run up into the, run up inside the utility room, inside the space. Come out, we're going to add 1 more of these slinky loops down this trench. We have a total of 600 feet of pipe right there. Tomorrow morning, after we build the last one, we will spread 6 inches of sand over the top of this, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, so here is the geothermal pipe slinky loops installed in the trench. You see it here. We actually have 3 lines, 3 600-foot runs of slinky loop. It'll take a little time to make those up, about an hour and a half per section to tie them all off to get the looping right. And they all run back into headers that run into this trench here under the house. They're going to come up inside the utility room. Now we're going to take this here, we're going to fill this with 6 inches of sand, wash it in good so we get good contact all around the pipe, and we're going to fill this in with, after a foot of sand, we're going to fill this in with regular soil and keep compacting that, and we should be done by the end of the day. We're starting to backfill the trench. We got sand and water. We're running water over the pipes to make sure we get good contact. So it washes all the sand right down in and around the pipes. We got good clean sand going over the pipes. And then we're using a regular backfill over the top. You can see how the water washes that in nice and tight. Surrounds the pipes completely. Makes good contact. So we're coming down the ramp. Going to put a foot of sand over the top of the pipe. Then we're filling it with regular backfill over the top. And we're going to compact this every 2 feet down this trench. So that's where we're at. Flooding just helps to wash the sand in so you have full contact with the pipe everywhere. You get no voids. Gets rid of the water, the air holes between the rocks and stuff. So, alright, so we got the geothermal line buried about 2 feet. We ran a 4-inch pipe for our water line to run through. We're going to leave that end open so we can tie into the well. But we have this pipe run all the way down at a depth of about 5 feet. And we're going to backfill this into that trench and then run that up under the house. The geothermal lines are all buried. Got about a foot of sand on them, about a foot of dirt, and we're running the water lines above that. So that's where we're at. Alright, so our geothermal lines are just about done. You can see them coming up into the house, into the utility room here. We got a little fill around there to do and some grading off on this place. But they're all backfilled, all compacted. We're going to run over it a few more times, and then we'll just finish grading it off. Down the other end here, this is our water line. You can see our water line isn't in there. We ran 4-inch conduit to run the water line through. Our electrical line and some caution tape. We run caution tape about a foot above, foot to 18 inches above the electrical line, so if anybody ever excavates out here that they know before they hit that electric line. So the well guy's going to come in, he's going to tie this into the well here, drop the well in, and we'll be good on this end. So that's where we're at. The geothermal lines are pretty much completed. The field installation is completed. Once again, they're coming up. They're going to be coming up through the slab on grade floor way out there over in the house. We're just going to do some grading off around here a little bit more and start forming up for our foam, which is over there. That's our geofoam that's going underneath the concrete foundation. We have 3 inches of rigid special geofoam, high density geofoam going under the entire slab of the house. So that's where we're at. Stay tuned.